I'm super enjoying being at the ski resort. First of all, I know how to ski. I grew up with my parents taking us skiing. I guess it started out with once every 2 years, and it was always the same ski resort as well. So I love just being at a ski resort because it feels like holiday, because that's what I'm used to. And it feels, I don't know, it feels really wintry and nice and cozy, and it just makes me want to either ski or sit inside and drink hot beverages, basically. I'm actually, I'm loving it here. I would definitely come back and also try to add extra days so I could enjoy the slopes a little bit more. No, well, I started before TI2 as a caster, and then during TI2, I was actually invited as an interviewer by Ghost Gamers to go to Seattle and to do interviews. And while I was there, I was also asked by Valve if I wanted to do interviews for the broadcast as well. So that's kind of how I started. Yes. I don't necessarily feel like there's something wrong with the game. I've actually been playing a lot of this patch and I'm really enjoying it. I think there's nothing per se wrong with the game. It's more like the gaming environment, the gaming scene changed, right? At some point, the Dota genre, the MOBA genre comes along and everybody starts playing Dota and League of Legends and Heroes of New Earth and every kind of game that had the same genre. And recently we had the Battle Royale coming up, right? And if you're a kid and you start playing games right now, you're probably going to start with Fortnite and you're just immersed in a whole different genre altogether. You'll probably explore that genre first before even thinking about other genres to even play. And I think that it's a natural progression for a game to eventually lose players purely because there's new game modes constantly coming out. There's new games, and you want to. Well, a lot of people always want to try something new. So I think that is one of the main reasons why we are seeing a decline in player base. One of the biggest difference from from 2011 to now in terms of Dota 2, I think all the teams are so much better. It's very interesting to see that everybody still is learning all the time, and it's that obviously that's credit to the game that is possible. And you can not really master the game. I mean, apart from if you're OG perhaps, but that's mostly mastering the mentality of the game, I feel. Well, next to obviously being good players, but I love seeing players constantly getting better all the time, no matter how long they've been in the scene. I don't know. Obviously, that's up to Valve to make decisions there. It's difficult to say because they're two different companies altogether. I think what Riot did, basically announcing that they're going to release a game in every genre, that is amazing. I think that is good news for everybody in gaming because they have proven that they know how to handle a game because League of Legends is obviously very successful. So that is an exciting development, probably coming, what was it, next year or this year, I guess, coming somewhere. I don't know if Valve should do the exact same because Valve has always been a company that is their own entity. They don't want to copy a different company. They just want to be themselves. So if they're going to do anything, they're going to probably do something that they think is good and that they believe in. But it's not going to be releasing a game in every genre probably because otherwise they would just be copying Riot, and Riot already did it first now. You don't want to be the one to copy just someone else, so they'll probably just do their own thing. I am excited to have a TI in Stockholm for sure. It's going to be feeling really weird though, because so far for every international I have flown for over 12 hours and traveled super long to get from A to B. And now I will have a 2-hour flight and I'm going to be at location super fast. So I hope it's going to feel like TI. I think already having TI in China last year made me I was already worried then because obviously a TI in China is going to feel very different, but I noticed in China that the thing that makes an international feel like an international is the people that are there, not just the talent but also behind the scenes, and just seeing those people again, and that creates the TI vibe. And I think we're going to have the same in Stockholm, so I think the TI vibe is going to be there, and yeah, I'm super excited to see hopefully, maybe, I don't know, it's the 10th, you know? I feel like there should be something, I don't know, something big, something extra. I don't know yet what, of course, but would love to see something like that. So I already think, like, first of all, I don't think streaming per se is easier, especially if you want to be a successful streamer. You have to dedicate your life and all your hours to it to be successful. That goes for both male and female. So you gotta spend a lot of effort there, and that's not necessarily easier than being a professional player. I think that if you look at the amount of female Dota 2 players, there's already a lot more than if you look at a couple of years ago, or if you look 5, 10 years ago. It goes for every game, actually. And that will only increase as time goes by. If you think about it, to be a professional player, like, just in general, doesn't matter gender, you need to, first of all, you need to be good enough, you know. You should be semi-simple, as in you can do that by yourself, you can practice by yourself, you can train, and then there is only a small percentage of people that is good enough to be a professional player. Then, even if you're good enough, you gotta find 4 other people that are good enough, that are fitting with you personality-wise. Now, there's gonna already be, like, that pool of players is already cut even more so. Then, even if you're fitting personality-wise, you gotta be maybe on the same region, on the same continent at least, have the same schedule, have the same time available, because there's gonna be players that are, you know, in high school, so you can only play outside of school hours. There's going to be players that are home, or not homeless, but like unemployed, that can play all day and will dedicate their life to it. So even if you find those 4 other people that you can click with and that you can match with and actually build a team with, you might not be able to have the right schedule in order to do so consistently and not have the same schedules. And then, you know, your pool of people that you can form a team with is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And that is not even taking gender into account. Now, if you are a captain or a coach, let's say you're a coach and you're forming a squad, it's so tough to find those 5 people, right? If you, even if you have then a person to choose from that is a woman, and you can choose a guy as well, same skill, you will normally choose the guy because that is foreseeing less problems, because you don't know if your other 4 guys are going to fall in love with this girl or how they're going to handle being around a girl. That's the dynamic that is, you can't deny that is a dynamic that is an unknown, right? But it is more and more common to see women in esports or women in games, and I think we are already seeing way more women in games, which means that guys are getting more used to playing with girls. And I think that once guys are used to playing more with girls and not freak out basically every time they hear a lady voice in game, you're also going to see that change, because people are going to be more accepting and more, or rather less wary of any dynamic change that you have in a squad if you do have a girl player join your team. Void Spirit, I think, is mostly good when you are. I think Void Spirit is going to be more successful in a professional team compared to being in a pub, because you do need to play a lot together with your team. You need to be on the same page in what terms of items you're going to build and what route you're going to go, and which other core you're going to have with it. So I think he's going to be successful there. He's very mobile. He falls a little bit in the Ember Spirit, Storm Spirit thing, like category. I feel like he's a mid hero, could be potentially off lane. I think Snapfire, even with the nerf, still very good. I think she's gonna need a little bit more nerfs on her ultimate, but she is definitely a good 4 position, maybe even 5, because most of her strong suits, well, it is her ultimate actually, and you only need levels for that, not necessarily items, not necessarily gold. So I think as a position 5 she could actually work. Personally, I have played a bit of Snapfire, but I'm mostly busy right now leveling up my Ogre Arcana, so I've mostly spammed Ogre at the moment, successfully, luckily. So I've not played enough Snapfire yet to have a fully defined opinion on her. I must admit though, I've not played Void Spirit at all, because I'm a support player mostly, and I already have, like, when I play Puck, I suck. I can't, like, all those mobility things, I don't know. I'm too slow in the head or something. I just lose like control, and I know what it should happen, and then it doesn't happen on screen. So I'll stick to the support at the moment, and I'll leave Void Spirit for what it is.